Hey guys, Jason back for another statue review. Today I'm going to be reviewing XM Studios Black Cat. Not a new statue by any means, but I'm packing all my statues up because we're moving to a new spot. So I'm kind of going through some of these older pieces and I'm like, I've never reviewed a lot of these, so let's get into them. I'm excited to review Black Cat because to me, this is the definition of an underrated piece. I think that she's probably, in terms of female statues, my favorite portrait, like full stop, my favorite female portrait. This one here, she has a switch out as well. And also just like, there's so much uniqueness in this statue. You don't see this type of more horizontal pose to many statues. It's super unorthodox. The base itself is something really interesting and original. I love this piece. So I'm really looking forward to kind of walking through it with you guys. So I will do that now. But before we do that, get out of here. But before we do that, let's look at what came in the box. So in the box, first of all, is this awesome art print. It's interesting because I think that either they have a different, or they had a different artist when this statue came out, or this artist has just sort of evolved his or her style, because this certainly isn't the same type of art that they now have in the XM art prints. So next we'll look at the switch outs. So this is the switch out portrait, which is also a nice looking portrait actually. I forgot that this even came in the box until I opened the box up to put her in. But that's a nice portrait. And she came also with a second hand. I'll see if I can put these on her later, because I've actually never put those on. The assembly handbook that XM Studios used to come with, now they do most of their stuff through YouTube videos. I prefer these assembly handbooks, to be honest. So now let's get into the actual statue herself. And this is kind of funny, something that my fiance just mentioned, is that I also have a Black Cat poster up there by J. Scott Campbell. Or not a poster, an art print, I should say. Poster, jeez. So let's get into her. And you can tell right off the bat that she is, like I said, something special and unique. I can't think of any other statues off the top of my head where the character had... No, that's not true. I was going to say I can't think of another statue that has the character has this reclining pose, but I literally just got Deja Thoris in from Sideshow that has this reclining pose. But that's also another really fantastic statue. But the difference here is that her base is almost a second statue in itself. This giant sculpted cat. She's really easy to move around as well, because she's sort of grounded and not prone to tipping. So let's get into her from the portrait down, because this is a truly beautiful portrait, in my opinion. Look at the profile. Beautiful green eyes. I just love the pursing of her lips. It's done so well. It's painted so well. The makeup around her eyes. Oh, this is just a piece that sits on here and it's hard to get it. Whatever. Anyways, the makeup around her eyes is fantastic and subtle. Look at the eyebrows even are individually painted in there. I just think that this portrait, like that right there, is such a beautiful picture. I actually took some pictures from my Instagram page with that exact angle. But I just can't get enough of her portrait. For me, that makes the entire statue. But that's not all there is. Not all the praise I have for the statue. So the paint is really nicely done. You can see that the sculpt is great in the hair, but there's also shades of kind of more bluies and purples in with the white to give it some depth, which is really nice. The hair or the fur around her her top is actually some of the paint is almost what's the word I'm looking for? Well, you can see it's shiny, for lack of a better term, it's shiny, which is cool. It gives it kind of a pearl look, which I think is an awesome touch and makes it stand out from the white hair on her head as well. And when you come down into her leather, the leather is all really nicely done. It has some great texturing in sort of the more breathable areas of her outfit here. Again, more of this sort of pearl white fur along her arms. The zipper is meticulously done, and now we have another type of paint here, which gives this part of the leather a more shiny look. So we have 3 different types of leather on this outfit. You have just sort of this matte leather, you have the breathable sort of material, and then you have this kind of shiny leather. I think that's really, really well done. The belt, now the belt even looks like another type of another treatment of this sort of leather look, because it doesn't look the same as this matte, but it's not as shiny as this. Man, this is the statue that just keeps on giving. Super impressive. Fun little pouch along her waist there. I mean, I didn't mention it, but obviously her body and her sculpt and proportions are beautiful. Really nice. I mean, like, thick thighs, really beautiful curves, thin waist, but somehow still kind of believable, like not hyper exaggerated. Just really nice. If you look in here, this is the same. You know what? So this is even different than this. This is a bigger sort of mesh, and then it gets really thin on the insides of her legs. Just, I'm so impressed. Look at the stitching along her her outfit here. The level of detail in this statue is phenomenal. Really, I don't remember the last time that I saw this level of intricate detail in a piece, and I've been reviewing a bunch of XM and Prime 1 statues lately, but this is, I mean, it's nearly flawless. I can't see anything here that I'm not liking. A little bit of dust here, sorry. Can't see anything I'm not liking other than the dust, but that is my fault. So that's just her, and like I said, beautiful. Like flawless. I would honestly say it's flawless, like a diamond. But if you go down and look at her actual base, this is amazing as well. Like, look at the texturing of the paint, like the layers of the paint, and how they got this really cool sort of weathered. I don't know what this is supposed to be. Jade? I'm not really sure, but some sort of a weathered sculpture cat look. If we just look at it from back here, that's what it looks like from the side, and it's just awesome. It's just really cool. The sort of chunkiness and almost like geometric shapes of the muscles of the cat. It's not completely organic. It looks like it's been chiseled and carved. Intentionally, and I think that's super cool. Even going into his muscles and his shoulders, like, it looks carved. It doesn't. It's not completely organic, which is exactly how it should look, you know, as a sculpture. And if you look at the detailing, like little jewels and that gold really pops against the green. Jewels back here, or actually just more gold back here. And then when you get into the gold here on the actual cat, there's like different shades. There's more of kind of a coppery tone here, and then there's actual different shades of gold within this, and it just looks so impressive. This is one of those statues that on first impression you see it and you're like, oh, that's a really cool statue. It's unique, you know, it's got a reclining back, but then as you look into it, the intricacy of it all is mind-blowing. This pops off. This comes separate and it just sits there. And then his eyes are even jewels. And then there's jewels on his paw, on his front paws as well. I love her. I mean, going back to her for a second, but I just love the pose, the way her hand just sort of falls there off the back of the cat's statue. It has a really nice relaxed look. Just her overall sculpt, the way her legs sort of gently fall to the side a little bit as she's sitting there reclined. Everything about this statue to me is just, it's 10 out of 10. I don't say this about many of my statues, but I think that this is a 10 out of 10 statue for me. Which is really crazy because I have a lot of statues, and I have a lot of statues I really love. And she is a little bit smaller, so she doesn't pop in a collection just because of her size. You know what I mean? She doesn't command a lot of attention, and you know, doesn't take up a whole lot of space. So because of that, she might be overlooked in some collections, as I think she might have even been in mine, or might be in mine. But if you look at her closely, I believe that she's a 10 out of 10 statue. I can't find a flaw in her. I really can't. She's the type of statue that you want to just keep looking at. And it's funny, even you know, she's one of my fiance's favorite statues, but also even other people that come over. The woman that cleans our house, it's her favorite statue of all of my statues. So there is something definitely special about her. And for any of you who did end up picking her up when she was available, or picked her up after the fact, I would assume you guys feel the same way. So let me just quickly try to, gotta be very careful when I'm doing this stuff, especially with one hand. I just want to try the other portrait. Okay, so that's the other portrait. Let's take this off and put her other hand on. I've never actually, like I said, I've never seen her with this, so. Oh, that's interesting. She's touching her lip almost. That's a cool pose as well. I wouldn't display her like this because, like I said, that other portrait is legit my favorite portrait of any statue I have. But this is also a really fun way to display her as well. Wasn't even aware that it was an option. Cool. Okay, guys, that's it for my review of the XM Black Cat. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, like and subscribe. And as always, guys, have a good one. And until next time, later.